Okay, welcome back to the I Help Men Dress Better podcast, where we use style as a form of self development. So, the last few episodes, kind of the introductory episodes, I got into the style archetypes, and I think that that is a really important foundation for style. You should definitely check those out, and I'm going to be expanding on those topics as this goes on. I think they're really important. But I wanted to dive into kind of another part of style, which is more in the realm of aesthetics. So, style is primarily made up of two pieces: aesthetics and authenticity. So, the authenticity part is more of the psychological side of things. That's where ideas like the archetypes come in. That's where, you want to be examining, who you are, what your contexts are, your interests, all of that. But on the aesthetic side of things, right, that's a little bit more where we get into kind of more of the sciences, or more of, I would say, like the science of art. Like, I don't know if it's a hard science, but it's scientific from like the concept of like art ideas, right? Ideas like color and juxtaposition, things like that. So today's episode, I wanted to talk more about fit, and I wanted to approach it from a little bit of a different perspective from, I think, where most people are used to talking about fit. I think so. I'm more of a millennial, and not more of a millennial. I was born in the millennial generation. And I remember when I was coming up, it was pretty much unacceptable to, at a certain point, probably when I was in high school, it shifted from being cool to wear kind of bigger clothes towards easing towards slimmer fits. And I remember it going from like slim fit and flat front being completely unacceptable and inappropriate to being kind of like the only way you could dress. And I think for a lot of people, their idea of clothing fitting is really, really dependent on what was trending at sort of key times in their lives. And I know that it was that way for me for a while, where I was just so convinced that like what good fit meant was like slim fit. That was it. Like if it was slim, then that meant it fit well, right? Like if it was able to be slim all over without being big or weird in one area, right? Like if I had a shirt and it was slim in the arms and slim in the chest and slim in my waist, like it was slim everywhere, then that fit well. And if it was slim in the body, but it wasn't slim in the arms, then that didn't fit well, right? Like that was my idea of what fit meant. And as I have kind of gone further down the style journey and moved more into kind of broader aesthetic ideas, and I think that's sort of where I want people to end up. I think it gives you a little bit, it gives you a lot more to work with instead of being kind of chained by what your generation thinks. So, if you're Gen X, I feel like a lot of Gen Xers actually fell into the millennial slim fit thing. Like slim fit is definitely a millennial thing. And I think Gen Xers kind of fell into that a bit. There are other times in history when slim fit was on trend. If you think about like the 1960s, once you get to the 1970s, there's a little bit more of that like slim but flared. And the 80s were obviously bigger pants. 90s had some kind of bigger fits. 2000s got like really, really big, but also really, really skinny. So, yeah, I think a lot of people are generationally kind of trapped in an idea of what fits well based on kind of where they were growing up at pivotal stages in their lives. And the way that I think about fit now versus kind of when I started my style journey is, like I said, when I started, it was like slim fit was it, right? That was what was trending, that was what was cool. And I think I would always look towards kind of the people that it looked really good on. And I think that this is where a lot of people get lost, is that first of all, there are people and body types that are just kind of going to look good in everything, right? Like there's a reason that we choose models with certain body types, and it's because it's really easy to just put clothes on them and like for them to look good, right? No matter how big, no matter how skinny, like it's just going to look right. But most people are not models, right? Like that's I don't think this isn't controversial, right? Like this isn't, you know this about yourself. Like you're, I mean, maybe you are built like a model. Great. But if you're not, that's not a detriment to you. It just means that you have to be more discerning about what's going to fit you. And you can't look at just anyone who looks really good and say, "Oh, well, they look good in that. If I wear that, I'll look good." It doesn't always translate. You have to kind of understand your body and what is going to look good on your body. And in order to do that, you have to, first of all, like be realistic about your body, right? Like you can want a different physique all you want, and you can try to dress in a way that maybe someone who has your, dream body, or who has a body that maybe you admire or envy, you might be like, okay, well, they look great and they look great in their clothes. So if I dress like that, then I'll look kind of more like them. And so many time, most of the time that's actually going to hurt you more, because you're going to be wearing clothes that don't look good on you, and then you're going to look worse, and you're going to blame yourself even more, right? You're not setting yourself up for success. And like obviously my work here, like so much of my work is, how do we set you up for success? How do we just really take that step back and look at you objectively, right? Not who do I want to be, but like who am I? And then the who do I want to be portion has to be realistic, right? And you might dress today for who you are, but you can still plan to dress for who you want to be in the future. But you really have to make sure that is, first of all, realistic, and second of all, like authentic, right? We have to be real here. So so yeah, I mean, I like, even me, got to be really, like, I have to be realistic about my physique. You know, someone might look at me and go, okay, you're tall, you're broad, you're in good shape, go to the gym, take care of yourself. But that doesn't mean that everything is going to look good on me. And if it does feel like everything looks good on me, it's because I only buy things that look good on me, right? I'm not going out of my way to buy things that look wrong. I love the way flares look on certain people. I really wish I could wear flares. I think they have just such a fun drama to them. Um, they're just, I don't know, they're just a lot of fun. They seem really cool. I have tried on flares, and they do not work for me. They just look incorrect. Okay? Like there are things that I would love to wear because I see them on other people, and I think that they would be fun or interesting and make sense for me. And then the second they're on my body, it's like, okay, yeah, that's wrong. And most of the time I can avoid this because I already know, and I have a pretty decent understanding of what's going to look good on me. But sometimes, it's worth trying something if it's really appealing to you, and seeing if there's a way to make it work. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. So, how can we think about the way our clothing fits in a way that is actually useful for us? And this may take a few episodes, because I don't think this is like a singular answer, because there are a lot of different parts. Like I said, like I touched upon, we've got body type, right? And then you also have, part of it's kind of what's available to you, and part of it is preference, And there's also the portion of, well, how do I shop for that? Like, let's say I figure out what's right for my body. How do I find that? What if what's right for my body isn't trendy? Let me give kind of an example of what that means. So let's say for me, I have a bit of a longer torso, and so I have and my legs are short in comparison to my torso. So in order to like I aim to use my clothing to balance my proportions. So I want a higher waisted pant, right? To cut me at a higher place. Because otherwise, if my pants are lower, it's going to show off the fact that my legs are shorter than my torso, and it's going to make my torso look too long. It's just going to throw off the proportions. And I could probably get more into what kind of ideal proportions are in a different video, but I'm just trying to give an example of how to think about clothes. So, right, so higher waisted clothes. And then on top of that, I go to the gym. I really like leg day. I really like to work out my lower body. And so my lower body does not fit in, every pair of pants, right? I have a smaller waist, which you also have to take into account that I'm wearing higher waisted pants. So that waist has to be really small because it's higher up at the smallest point of my waist. And then that's expanding out into my hips and rear and thighs and legs. And so I'm looking for something that's higher waisted, small waist, and then also has like the room to fit everything because like I either physically can't fit into something or it'll be uncomfortable. So I could like if I wanted to dress slim fit, let's say, I think a lot of people get caught up in this is they think, well, I want to wear slim fit, so I'll go buy slim fit pants, right? If I went and bought slim fit pants, they physically would not go on my legs. And if I bought them in a size that fit my legs, they would be enormous in the waist, and I would have to put money into tailoring and bringing in the waist, right? So that's not going to work. But if I can take that step back and not worry about what it says on the tag, I can use that to adjust. So let's say I did buy, let's say, a pair of pants, slim fit, and I see, okay, this fits in my thighs, but it's not fitting in my waist. Or this is fitting in my waist, but it's not fitting in my thighs. What if I go to the same brand and look at their bigger fits, right? If I try a straight cut, if I try a wide cut, or a wide or loose or relaxed, it's possible that one of those will actually fit me like a slim fit. Because if you think about it, they have kind of one body type in mind. They're not making those different fits for different body types. They kind of have this like one skinny guy in their heads, and that skinny guy, when they put on the slim fit, it fits slim. When they put on the straight fit, it fits straight. When they put on the wide fit, it fits wide. But what if you have bigger legs, right? So I'm not sure if you're like following where I'm going with this, but I could buy, if I had bigger legs, right, the slim fit might not fit me, but the straight fit might fit like a slim. Maybe the straight fit doesn't fit me either. Maybe my legs are too big or it still isn't right in the waist. But a wider fit or a loose fit or like a wide straight, right? Because sometimes the wider fits will just continue to be wide, and a wider straight might actually taper a little bit. Um, Feel free to leave in the comments if any of these words don't make sense. But I can, by kind of either ignoring the label, the what the brand has designated as the fit of the article of clothing, I can use that as a point of reference to find a pair of pants that will fit me the way I want them to fit. So for one person, slim fit might be slim fit. For another person, slim fit might be skinny fit. For another person, slim fit might be wide. They're just so skinny, that's just the way they're built. Slim fit might actually be kind of baggy on them. For another person, you know, straight fit will look slim on them. For another person, wide fit will look slim on them. So the what I really wanted to drive home in this episode is that when we are shopping or when you are shopping, don't get so married to what brands are saying their fit is or what brands are saying their sizing is. Start with your body. Think about the way you want the clothing to fit, and then find the fit that is going to fit your body that way. Um, that is time. I think I'm going to end up talking about fit quite a bit. I think it's a great topic, and I think it's something that is not only something that you probably struggle with, or just men struggle with in general, but it's also something that is really it's fundamental to your outfits looking good, is getting each piece of your outfit not only fitting your body correctly, but interacting, the fits of each piece interacting with the fits of every other piece correctly. So definitely a topic we're going to touch more on. Definitely a topic that I work with my clients on. So if that's something that interests you, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's Shlomo Homnick on LinkedIn. Bright pink banner. You can't miss it. If you aren't ready to work with me, please feel free to follow, connect with me on LinkedIn. I take my style archetypes quiz to find your style archetype. I think that's a really great place to start on your style journey. Or if you're on your style journey, it's a really great way to level up from wherever you've reached on your journey. I'm Shlomo. I help men dress better. This is the I Help Men Dress Better podcast, and I will see you next week. Have a great one.